Would you consider Nico Collins a star wide receiver?
Oh, certainly. Matter of fact, here I'm lacking because I don't have my. I'm getting to my notes for this game. Hold on a minute. I'm stalling here. What was my? Because I had a crazy little stat here that I want to talk about. Why can I not find
Bro,
it?
I can't find it either.
No, here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, there it is. Okay. All right. So here's my thing about Nico is back-to-back weeks 100 plus yards, but that's also that's his fourth total 100 plus yard game this season. Nico Collins on a potential that I won't say all pro yet, but he's on a Pro Bowl tear this year for sure. I mean, and normally Pro Bowls I would say don't really mean that much, but this would be one where it does. This is one where it's like, no, he's deserving. Get that man in there. He's making a humongous leap that we saw coming.
Deserving because we had the narrative.
Yeah, this was our narrative. One of our narratives.
9 receptions, 191 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, you may even see his workload increase with Tank Dell out for the year now.
That is terrible news though. If you're a Texans fan,
Very sad.
that one, and not even like I say no affiliation here, but that one hurt me.
I was a big Tank Dell guy.
Right. It's like, I like that duo. I like what's going on down there in Houston. It's like, you don't want to see that when they're starting to build such a fire connection. I don't think it's going to affect anything long-term though. It's just this year. It's like, damn, that would have been really nice, especially for that.
Could have helped them win a playoff game.
Right. That potential playoff run. It's definitely going to be hindering on that. So that sucks.
I think this was a very, very impressive day for CJ Stroud. I think the Broncos were one of those teams that were worth being like reckoned with. Like, the Broncos were like a team kind of almost like the Packers now, where it's like, you don't want to see them.
No.
Like, you don't want to see that team.
No, definitely not. Especially with Sean Payton out there calling the shots.
No. And like the Texans, I think this may have been their biggest statement game of the year with the way the game planned out.
No, for sure. Especially because kind of like, and this is where I think you'll agree with me on this. This was the biggest game in terms of like playoff, like contingency for, I think, like both teams that was last week, because this was really the game where whoever lost this, you feel like I hate to say it, but because it sucks to say this to one of the fan bases, but you feel like that was kind of like you got almost punched out of the playoff race. Like this was really the one where whoever lost this one, kind of got like a big smack to the face.
Yeah, and I think it's also like you're playing like it's like experience versus like youth, and it's like, is the youth better, or does the experience and like wisdom of the game override what the Texans are doing this year? And it didn't happen. I mean, Stroud has just been so phenomenal this year. And it's like he steps up when he needs to step up. It's so impressive.
No, it is. And I got to shift gears here for a sec because I almost forgot. And this is something I really need to talk about. Speaking of something else that's also incredibly impressive. I mean, truly, I'll marvel at this year because of how impressive of a turnaround it is. Vance Joseph. Let's give another, I mean, seriously, I'm giving another slow clap here to Vance because after how you started, this year the Broncos, under 25 points allowed 7 games in a row.
That's crazy.
That is amazing. Especially because, and it's not easy to go from coaching that poorly to getting, it's like just not only the schematic changes that had to happen, but getting everybody to come back as one unit, getting everybody to buy back in. Very impressive shit from Vance. Very impressive shit from Sean. The whole group. If you're a Broncos fan, that's got to make you feel good no matter what the record's looking like right now and how the playoff hopes feel.
Well, also another thing, I guess, for the Broncos, and then we'll go back to the Texans, is Courtland Sutton. Just, I mean, him and Russ. I mean, Russ had probably his worst game of the year. 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 186 yards. But his connection with Courtland Sutton is very nice. And like, if Courtland Sutton can just stay healthy and Denver adds like a pretty good wide receiver, T. Higgins, to their wide receiver, and maybe not him, but you know what I'm saying? Like
that would be very interesting to keep our eye on, though.
A T. Higgins level receiver, like they got a team.
I'm with you. I just want Courtland to stay healthy. That's the big issue. Because at this point, I was going to say when you brought it up, would you be willing to consider him contested catch / spectacular catch king of the NFL right now?
He's got to be up there. I mean, I don't know who's doing it better right now.
I mean, it's like there's only 1 or 2 a game, but like not catches, but just crazy catch. But it's like he will come down with at least 1 ridiculous catch a game. It's almost at this point.
Yeah.
Like, how did he just keep his feet in? How did he just do a backflip and catch the ball? I mean, it's like he's like the contested catch king.
I really like the connection that him and Russ have. Going to defense, Alex Singleton had himself a day. They had 5 sacks. The Broncos had 5 sacks on the Texans this game. Very impressive.
Back to that Vance Joseph turnaround.
Yeah. So finally, Devin Singleton. Derek Stingley. That's the second time I did it. And Will Anderson had themselves a game.
Oh, no, their first round picks recently, I mean, they've been absolutely hitting on them. If you're a Texas fan, you got to feel so excited about this D'Amico Ryans regime. Like, this has definitely got to be like, oh, man, we finally got, it's like we finally got a team in the next few years.
If I was Houston, I'd be so ecstatic. You have your quarterback, you have your coach, you have your defense. Like,
this team has the Lombardi written on them in a few years.
Bro, it does.
Like, it really does. And I want to, again, not to jinx it, but you know what? Fuck that. The Texans are not in that territory. The Texans, they're not in jinx territory. They're not like the Cowboys. I'm gassing the Texans. Let's go Texans.
Do you have anything else you want to say on this game? Or are you ready to move on? I mean, this was, in my opinion, probably one of the games of the year.
Yeah, this was definitely, especially for playoff implications, this was definitely a game everyone's going to go back to. Huge game this year.
Well, bro, so I'll bring this up before we moved on. When I was talking about, when we posted this, someone commented like, this is game of the year, but there's Philly and San Fran. But I'm like, we know what Philly and San Fran are. Like, these teams are scary teams. Like, and you don't know how they're going to play against each other.